Hi traders, hope you're doing well. Welcome to my video on the free moving average and stochastic EA. So this is an EA that I've developed for the MT4 trading platform. It's completely free to download. You can use the link in the description or you can download it by visiting my website, where you will also find many other free expert advisors that I have developed for the MT4 trading platform that you're free to help yourselves to. Okay, so in this video, I'm just going to run through the expert advice and settings and the various ways in which you can implement it within your trading strategy. So here we are, the MT4 trading platform. We have the strategy tester window here. I've loaded the moving average and stochastic EA expert advisor here. Okay, I've chosen the symbol, which is the euro dollar, and the time frame I've set to 1 hour. I prefer to trade the 1 hour, 4 hour, daily, weekly, and monthly charts simply because I find that they tend to have more reliable signals due to the fact that there is more price data included within them. That being said, you can use this EA on any trading instrument, Forex, stocks, cryptos, commodities, indices, etc., and also any chart time frame. Okay, so for the tested model, we can choose open prices only. And this is because the EA has been coded with open prices when it comes to calculating the entry and exit signals. That being said, once you do find some good settings that you want to test more thoroughly, you can switch to every tick testing, as this will use intrabar prices, which is important when it comes to calculating things such as the stop loss, take profit, trailing stop break even, etc. Okay, so for the date, we're just going to use the previous month for the purpose of this video. And the spread we'll just leave at the current spread. So we'll go to the expert properties now. So these are all the settings of the EA that you can amend to test. Okay, so you have pop-up alerts. This is basically when there's a buy or sell trading signal, the EA will send you an alert via the MT4 platform with a sound notification and a pop-up box if you have these enabled. And this is handy because you might be following 10 charts, 20 charts, 50 charts, however many charts. You can run the EA on all of the charts at the same time, and it will give you signals and tell you which chart and time frame the signal has come from, which is a great way to make analyzing charts a lot quicker and easier for you. Okay. Email alerts and SMS alerts, basically the same thing. You can receive the alerts via email or via SMS, which is useful if you're away from your platform. Okay, and perhaps you're out and about or on the sofa and you want to get a notification so you know when it's time to fire up the platform and start thinking about taking a position. Okay, and along with the various alerts, we also have the use trading option. So when this is set to true, it basically means that the EA is able to place trades on your behalf when there is a buy or sell signal. Okay, so it can place and manage trades automatically. You can have use trading set to true along with any of the alerts. Okay, so for example, use trading true and email alerts set to true. This way, when there's a trade placed by the EA, you will receive an email notification, which is useful if you then plan to manage the trade manually. Okay. Days filter is self-explanatory. These are the days of the weeks that the EA can trade. You can set to true or false. Hours filter, again, self-explanatory. This is the hours that the EA can trade. Okay. So by default, the start hour is 0 and the end hour is 24. You can adjust accordingly. Magic number, this is the order ID. So basically the order ID for buy and sell trades. This is useful in case you plan to run other expert advisors on the same platform and you don't want them to clash. We have a maximum spread, a maximum slippage setting. This is basically to avoid the EA sending signals or placing trades if the spread or slippage are above these values. These values are in pips. Money management. So you have the open orders limit. This is the maximum number of orders that can be open at any time, which is set to 1 by default. This means that the EA would be able to open one buy and or one sell trade at any time. Okay, lots is the position size you will use. This is taken into account if use risk here is set to false. If you set use risk to true, the EA will ignore the lots field and instead it will calculate the lot position size according to the risk percent that you set here. So if we set risk percent to 2% and have use risk set to true, the EA will calculate the lot size so that a full stop loss will be the equivalent of 2% of the account balance. Okay. Stop loss and take profit, stay self-explanatory. Close on opposite signal. This means that if there is a signal in the opposite direction to the, an open trade, the EA will close the open trade. Break even and trailing stop. So you can set the EA to use a break even, which means that the stop loss will be moved to break even point once this value in pips is reached. Okay, so in this instance, once the profit reaches 100 pips, the EA will move the stop loss to break even. And trailing stop is you have the option to keep moving the trailing stop as price moves in your favor by the distance, again in pips, of the trailing gap. Close percent. This is a percentage of the order you'd like to close, if any, as the break-even point and trailing gap distances are reached. And the minimum lot close is when you will like the EA to stop closing part of the position. Say, for example, you were trading one standard lot and you had minimum lot close to 0.5. The EA would keep closing the position until you only had 0.5 lots remaining. Okay, now this is the nitty-gritty of the strategy here. As I said, this is a moving average and stochastic combined expert advisor, which you can set accordingly. So we have a moving average setting here. When this is set to true, it means that price must be above the moving average for a buy trade, or price must be below the moving average for a sell trade. Moving average value you can set here, 14 by default, and we're using simple moving averages. The moving average crossover, if you set this to true, it will trade a buy trade when the fast moving average is above the slow moving average, or a sell trade when the fast moving average is below the slow moving average. Okay. Stochastic. So we have two options with the stochastic oscillator. You have the stochastic extreme and the stochastic trend. So stochastic extreme means that the stochastic oscillator must be above or below the extreme levels. I'll show you this now on the chart. So here we have our chart. This is the stochastic indicator. If we just add the levels 20 and 80. So the stochastic extreme setting would be a sell trade when this stochastic is above the 80 level or in the overbought zone, and a buy trade when the stochastic is below 20 in the oversold zone. Okay, the stochastic trend option in the expert advisor basically means that the EA will place a buy trade if the green line is above the red line, okay, in the stochastic indicator, which suggests an uptrend. And the EA will place a sell trade if the green line is below the red line on the stochastic indicator, which suggests a downtrend. Okay, you can combine the various settings because you can see here on the chart, we have a moving average, 14-period moving average, and the stochastic here, and the EA was set to take sell trades when price is below the moving average and the stochastic is trending. So you can see here the conditions were met, the price was below the moving average and the stochastic cross trending downwards. Okay, I wouldn't personally blindly take these signals. Okay, I wouldn't take every single extreme cross of the stochastic indicator, just as I wouldn't take every moving average crossover. For instance, here you can see the sell trades were actually good. We have a sell trade there is a good one, a sell trade there is a good one. This one not so much, but I wouldn't have entered there anyway for a few reasons I'll go through now. First of all, in this situation, I would not have traded long or buy trades. I would have had the EA set to short only, and that is simply because we have our resistance level here. The market is making lower highs, okay? We have a breakout of this support level here. Okay, you see this area of consolidation? And then this wedge pattern, this wedge formation here. The market's making lower highs. This support line is then breached. Around here becomes resistance. Okay, this is a triple top formation as well because this resistance level has been hit at least 3 times. which shows that it's holding up well and we can possibly expect a reversal to the downside, which is what we get on this breakout here. That support then becomes resistance. Okay, another wedge pattern and also an M formation there with a breakout to the downside. So this breakout here, if we're trading without indicators and just trading price action, which is what I like to do, then that would have been a good entry. If we zoom out, that one trade there had a potential of over 350 pips. Could have placed a stop loss just above the high here, which would have been around 15 to 20 pips. It's relatively tight for the 1 hour chart time frame. And interestingly, as price was falling down here and here and here, we could have been placing our stop loss. We would have moved it from the original place to above the recent highs. So as price is moving down, the stop loss could go here and here and here and here and here, 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 here. We basically could have trailed this trend all the way down from that one good entry. Okay, selling at the high, getting into this move more or less all the way down to the bottom. As we see the market make lower highs here, we could have looked to have taken an exit manually as well. If not, we would have been triggered on our trailing stop around here somewhere, which is still a nice trade for a substantial amount of pips. Okay, but how does that tie in with the indicator? Well, the point I was trying to make is we're in a downtrend from around here. So I would have set the expert advisor to only take short trades, which you can do from expert properties, just short only. Okay, so if we set it to short only and we then put the, say, moving average true, okay, and the stochastic trend true, can run that, okay, and we can see that things start to look better already because we're just taking sell trades, so we're trading in the direction of the trend, which is great. Okay, see that sell there. We avoided the buying trades in this downtrend, which is good. However, it's still not fantastic simply because some of the entries are not ideal. As I was mentioning earlier, like this sell trade here. For example, first of all, the stop loss I would have put above this high over here, okay? Which is the thing, when you're using fixed stop loss, it is a limitation. Like the EA has a 20 pip stop loss. Okay, great. We could change it to 30 to avoid this, but my stop loss tends to be different depending on the market. So if we traded this breakout here, as I said, it would have been a 15 to 20 pip stop loss. If we traded this breakout here, we would have had a 20 pip stop loss. Another breakout around here, we might have had a 25 pip stop loss. Okay, so the point I'm trying to make is stop loss can be different each time, around 15 to 20 pips there. Okay, so that's the thing with using fixed stop loss on EAs, but you know, you can get a general consensus between 20 to 30 pips, say for the 1 hour chart, but again, it would depend on the trading instrument that you're using, which is why it's useful to have the alerts to let you know when a trade's been placed, because you might want to just manually adjust the stop loss, as I would, to above the previous high for a sell trade or below the previous low for a buy trade. Okay, so that's a limitation. So we can avoid getting unnecessarily stopped out like the EA did there by having the stop up here. Furthermore, we could have just avoided this trade altogether simply because we're trying, if we want to enter in on a trend, I'm looking to enter on a pullback. So if I just draw the lines again, just to make the picture clearer, where we had our resistance, okay, our support, had the breakout, support then became resistance. And as I said, we entered this breakout here. What I would have done is on this downtrend, I would have just waited for a pullback. So like here, and then I would have marked support and looked to enter on the breakout of the pullback. So you have another M pattern forming there and a breakout to the downside. Support becomes resistance and a continuation, so potential entry there. Okay. Just in fact, you can see that support then becomes resistance over here as well. Okay, same thing here. Support and a big breakout there. That's actually an NFP non-farms payroll first Friday of the month candle. Nonetheless, we could have used that momentum to hop into this trend. There, again, no indicators needed. Nice wedge pattern there. And a breakout to the downside could have got in there. Lower highs. Downtrend is in full force. Again, wait for the pullback. You can see here a nice pullback. Okay, could have entered on the breakout here. This support becomes resistance. Price continues down. Wait for this pullback. This is why I said we would have avoided this trade, because we're going to wait for a pullback first. You can see here, you don't want to sell at the low of this move. You want to wait for a pullback and then enter on the breakout. So I probably wouldn't have traded either of these, that loss or that loss. Even this one I wouldn't have taken. I would have waited for the breakout here, even though that was a semi-decent trade there. Another M pattern you can see forming there, like an M. I do have videos on the various chart patterns, candlestick patterns, support resistance, trend lines, all that good stuff. Okay, so again, support breakout to the downside. Okay, support breakout. I mean, there was ample opportunities to hop in there. Nice pullback and a good breakout there. All the way, almost as far down as here, but by then you want to be wary about selling too low. Once you've seen all of this move happen, you don't want to end up selling at the low. But this has nothing to do with the EA, believe it or not, but I'm just pointing out because it's there on the chart and just showing you the limitations in terms of, as I said, expert advisors picking entries, when I think, you know, the human eye can perhaps do a better job when you're marking off these trend lines, support and resistance, knowing where to place your stop loss. However, I'm going to now cover where this EA can be helpful in a trend like this. So once we know that there's a trend in this direction, okay, sorry, before I forget, you can see the take profit limitation as well. You see the sell trade up here. This was 100 pip fixed take profit, which is great. You know, 100 pips is a decent trade. However, with a tight 20 pip stop loss. However, I wouldn't use fixed take profit levels just because we know there is how many pips? You know, the 350 pips in this move potential. So why would we just take 100 in this instance? We wouldn't. Instead, I would, as I said, use a trailing stop all the way down and keep an eye on the price action for the, you know, lower highs in the opposite direction and the consolidation candlestick pattern, bullish candlestick patterns to time our exit. So we can get over that by setting the take profit to 0 on the expert advisor, but then we would just need to manually move the stop loss. And of course, we do have we go in here, let's just say take profit to 0, then we do have the break even and trailing stop settings. So if we just experiment with those, so you can do an optimizations in the MT4 strategy test. I do have a video dedicated to MT4 optimizations you might want to check out. But basically, to do an optimization, which is a combination of the various settings, you just choose the settings you wish to test. Okay, so we're going to test break even true false, trailing stop true false, and the break even point will start at 20 pips. And we'll start 25 pips actually. We'll go up in 25 increments and we'll stop at 100. So that will test 25, 50, 75, 100. We'll do the same for the trailing gap. For the close percent, we'll do up to 75% starting from 0. And the minimum lot to close, well, if we're trading one lot, we can just say you can close 0.25, go in 0.25 stats, but stop at 1.25, in which case we wouldn't be closing any of the position. Just click optimization here, and what the strategy test will do is we'll run through all the various combinations. As you can see from the results here, it just did all the combinations and showed you what the results were. Okay, so then you can just double click any of them, and what that will do is it will load the settings from that test in here. So if we do that and then we run a visual test, okay, you can see that with the trailing stop, we managed to maximize the moves slightly more. Although that being said, I still wouldn't have liked to get taken out around here because my stop loss probably would have been above this recent high here. Okay, we could have still been in the trade all the way down to the bottom. And as you can see, this sell trade here, it went for almost 100 pips, but not quite. And now it's still open as a sell trade. So if we had that fixed 100 pip break even point, you know, we'd probably be letting a winning trade almost turn into a losing one by now. Okay. Whereas if we were around or we used a tighter trailing stop, we could have had our, you know, maybe our stop loss here. We would have banked some pips, and when price turned around, we would have been out in a safe position. Okay. So just to let you know of the limitations of money management. And this is a 1 hour chart, so it's not like you need to constantly check your chart to adjust your money management. It's something every few hours you can do, or you can set alerts from the expert advisor, which might be when you would need to check. For example, you could set an alert for when the price crosses above the moving average, and then that might be when you think about moving your stop loss, or when the stochastic is extreme. Then you might need to jump on your chart and act, which is why the alerts is also a very good function. And also with optimization, you see this genetic algorithm box, I had it checked here. Okay, and that basically means the EA will combine the settings for the optimization based on what it thinks will produce the best results. If you uncheck it, it will do every single combination, which can take a long time. Okay, and another thing worth mentioning with optimization is we've just optimized for the past month. Okay, and you can run the risks of curve fitting or over optimization, which basically means you're just finding good settings for a particular data set. If we run those exact settings all the way back to January, let's just say we'll trade long and short, hit the start button, the results are terrible. And why is that? That's because we had over optimized those settings for that particular data set. Okay, so that's what you need to be wary of when it comes to optimization. A lot of developers, what they'll do is they'll just do every single possible combination of settings. Let's just do moving average. We'll optimize all the moving averages. Okay, we'll do 7, then we'll optimize all the stochastic settings. We'll optimize the stop loss. Well, we'll just set it at, say, 50. And we'll just run an optimization with all those various settings for the previous year and see what results we get. So whilst that's running, we can have a look at the results coming in. Okay, that's finished. And then we can go to the top result, double click it or load the settings, click start. Wow, okay, not bad. However, what have we just done there? We've over optimized, or we've curve fitted the settings for that particular data, e.g. the past year, okay, which is not good because it's just thrown enough, what at the wall and seeing what sticks. So if we add another year before that, it doesn't look so good. And I can probably pinpoint exactly where the past year we optimized starts, and it's probably here. And it is, see, it's there. Because that's the part that we over optimized or we curve fitted, when in reality it was just pure luck. Just if you do enough combinations of settings, you're going to find something that works for the data that you're using, and that doesn't create a logical or sound long-term trading strategy, and that's what a lot of developers will do, is just over optimize, find what look like good settings over years of data, and sell it as a supposedly magic expert advisor, when the reality is it's not. Okay, the exception to the rule is when you find an expert advisor that uses the same settings on multiple trading instruments over, say, 10 to 20 years of data and produces good results. Because for me, that shows consistency. It shows a solid trading strategy, not just random combinations that produced good results, historically speaking. Okay, going back to this chart, when I was saying about how I would use the EA in a scenario like this, well, what I would do is I'd use it for alerts for pullbacks, because as I said, once we're in a trend, we're looking to enter when there's a pullback. So you could get an alert, an extreme alert on the stochastic, okay, because then we know there's been a pullback. Okay, let me just add the stochastic level 20 and 80. If you set it to give you extreme alerts, sell alerts, like here and here and here, there's been a pullback, and that might be when, okay, I'm monitoring it for a sell entry, there's a downtrend, I'm going to wait for the pullback, get your alert, draw your support, trade the breakout. Same here and here and here. Okay, you can get alerts but to help you time your entry into the trend. Even an alert when there's been a pullback above the moving average in the opposite direction, then there's been a pullback, and it might be your opportunity to start waiting for a continuation. Okay, even a crossover of the stochastic indicator could signal a pullback, and then you might prepare your entry. Okay, The crossover as well, as I mentioned, there's a moving average crossover strategy. If we just put let's put a 50 moving average. Okay. Let me just set that 50 moving average to, what color shall we use? Magenta, there we go. And then we'll add another moving average, this time a 200 and a yellow, okay? So the 200 and the 50 moving average are known as substantial ones, okay? So when they cross upwards, it's known as a golden cross, okay? Which could signal a significant shift in the market. And when they cross below, it's known as a death cross. As you can see, this death cross here actually signaled a big move. Doesn't always happen, as you can see from this buy cross here, this sell cross here, buy cross here. But as you see there, some of the crossovers do capture big moves. And the reason I'm pointing this out is because you could always set from the expert properties moving average crossover alert, okay, and then 50 and 200 or whatever values you want, 14 and 35. Okay, and then you get an alert when there's a cross, and that can just tell you, right, maybe start looking for a new trend to form on a chart, or even to exit, you know. If you were in this sell trade up here, you could be set an alert for crossover, and then when you get the alert down here, you know that it's time to perhaps get out of this position if you hadn't already gotten out when you've seen these lower highs back here, or your trailing stop as we discussed earlier. Okay, so there's various ways in which you can implement the EA to trend trade. You can also range trade, you know, use the EA as you want. You might just want to, you know, just set the stock extreme and the stock trend to true, not even use the moving average if you're range trading, and just, you know, look for a range like this one and buy and sell every time the stochastic crosses above or below the extreme line. For example, here we have a crossover above, price drops. So a crossover below, price goes up. Crossover above, price drops. Crossover below, price goes up. So on and so forth. So if you're a range trader, you can use it that way, even if it's just to send you an alert to check. Okay, as I said, enter pullbacks on trends as well. You can set it to help with that. You can let it trade fully automated for you if you want, you know, but just make sure you're checking the trades and you've got good money management to capture as much pips as possible. As I said, I like to cut my losing trades short, let winning trades run. I see no point in fighting the 1 minute or 5 minute chart timeframes for a few pips here and there, you know, pulling your hair out, stressing yourself all day long, when in the space of a month you can capture a big move like this for hundreds of pips, you know, less in broker fees, spreads, commissions, and also just less stressful, less time chart watching, you know, just let the EA run, ping you when there's alerts, and, you know, away you go. And if you cut losing trades short, like let's say this is a 15 pip stop loss we were saying here. Even if you're wrong 1, 2, 3 times in a row, 4 times in a row, let's say, and you're down 60 pips, but then you do eventually catch the trend for 360 pips, minus the 60 pip loss, you're up 300 pips, you know. Whereas if you had a 20 pip stop loss on the 5 minute charts, you know, chances are you ain't going to be taking many more pips than that in a winning trade if you're scalping or day trading. Okay, so just emphasizes the importance of money management, and of course good discipline, controlled emotions, no fear, greed, over trading, FOMO, fear of missing out. You know, don't want to revenge trade either. Okay, so hopefully you found something useful in this video. Please help yourself, as I say, to the EA. It's completely free. You can use it how you want. I also have an expert advisor that combines not only the moving average and the stochastic, but also nearly every other indicator in the MT4 platform, along with candlestick patterns. And that can be configured just like this as you wish. So you can do, you know, any strategy, a moving average with MACD, Bollinger Bands with CCI, or, you know, whatever you want, RSIs in there, envelopes indicators in there, ADX, volumes, average true range, everything you could need, and you can just configure accordingly and set it to either trade automatically or send you alerts when there is a signal. Okay, I do appreciate you watching. Hopefully you learned something from this video. If you can please like and subscribe, that would be great and really helpful for my channel. Just remember, there is no magic bullet to trading. You do need to have a good strategy and make sure you maintain discipline. And please, if you do want to trade automatically, make sure you or trade at all. If you're just practicing with a strategy, always start on a demo trading account. Take your time, and if you have any questions, please feel free to put them in the comments below, and I'll get back to you. I'll try to get back to you as soon as possible anyway. Okay, thanks for watching. Catch you on the next one.